you care for me, but don't worry about me, just say a prayer for me. Cause we all going one day, so just prepare for me. And I'ma live to the fullest, so don't be scared for me. Just say a prayer for me, yeah.
Pray for me. If you love me, just pray for me. Pray for me. If you love me, just pray for me.
I used to have problems getting it off. Now I'm dripping in sauce. First I'm hitting the gas, then you get the exhaust. Told the world that I'm coming, I'm working to be a boss. It's consequence for them actions. I teach my sons that it costs. All this drama in my life is fucking with my conscience. Caught the little chain, they wonder how I got this. Swear these niggas lame, why they worried about my pockets? Tore out the frame, now she wanna keep me hostage. Better than ever, it's really no room for error. Play for keeps and never settle, no negotiate with the devil. I'm getting harder to measure, I give it all, cause I'm destined, I'm too involved and I'm ready, so through it all, I'ma get it. I know you care for me, but don't worry about me, just say a prayer for me. Cause we all going one day, so just prepare for me. And I'ma live to the fullest, so don't be scared for me. Just say a prayer for me, yeah.
Pray for me. If you love me, just pray for me. Pray for me. If you love me, just pray for me. Can you pray for me?
Something wrong, somebody pray for me. Psychic said it ain't safe for me. I pulled the card with 2 snakes on it, intertwined into an 8 or something. Bottom line, it was an ace on it. Pray for me. I seen a demon with a face on it. I don't look in the mirror now. I know them voices in my head from the spirit realm. I know it's people under the stairs and in the ceiling found. I feel my niggas in the air who ain't here around me. I know you possibly sincerely care about me, but I still ain't going nowhere without the ham on me. Just say a prayer for me. I know you care for me, but don't worry about me, just say a prayer for me. Cause we all going one day, so just prepare for me. And I'ma live to the fullest, so don't be scared for me. Just say a prayer for me, yeah.
Pray for me. If you love me, just pray for me. Pray for me. If you love me, just pray for me. Can you pray for me?
Peace and welcome back to another episode of Just My 2 Cent Podcast. I'm your host, the Immortal Scribe. I just want to jump right into this episode here and starting off with context by defining this word context. You see on the screen here the Oxford English Dictionary right here. We're looking at page 820 and 821 for the word context and its definition, and you see how long it is, right? But we're gonna start right here on the left-hand side, right over here, and it's saying that this word context, it's a verb and it's obsolete. That's what OBS stands for. But we're gonna see this old definition that they somehow made obsolete, and I don't know why it's obsolete. Like, who gets together and decides when these words are no longer meaning what they're supposed to mean, etc. But, anyway, let's just get to it. Context, it says right here, to weave together, interweave, join together, composed. Let's see, saying that it's feminine. That's what the F stands for. Con plus texture, to weave. Okay, to weave together, to form, to construct, or compose as by interweaving of parts. Then it gives you a particular date of 1542. And these are people, the names of people that have, I guess, contributed to the understanding of what the word context mean. As well as we look up under it, it pretty much says the same thing, coinciding with a native, I don't know what that means right there. Let's see, woven or knit together. Also, let's see, same thing down here, the weaving together of words, sentences, construction of speech. And this one is presently, working as a working definition. But it says the weaving together of words and sentences, construction of speech, literary composition. Then it's going on to define some more the connected structure of a writing or composition, a continuous text or composition with parts duly connected. Then let's see, we come up here to the top, and it says the connection or coherence between the parts of a discourse. So you're getting more of an idea what the word context means. And the reason why I wanted to start with defining this word is because, we hear a lot of words and a lot of things being said, written, etc., online especially. And sometimes I think a lot of these words need to be taken into their proper context so that people can gain a better and more clear understanding of what's being communicated. Like, for example, some people, they hear the word or hear somebody say the word more or Moorish American, and maybe that person saying those words, may even say that they not black. You know what I'm saying? But in the context of law, you know what I mean? Meaning the connection or coherence between the parts of a discourse. They're saying that in law that, people can't be a crayon color. Black is an adjective. You see what I'm saying? We talking about language right now, language structure. You know what I'm saying? And how the proper context, how those words are put together or interwoven, like we were reading in the definition, paints the picture of what's trying to be communicated. You know what I'm saying? Then you have people that say that, that they aren't black, or they say that they white or whatever. Black and white are adjectives if we look those words up. I'm not going to do that because that's common sense. You know what I'm saying? But I think with a lot of the things that we be talking about and we're going to talk about in this particular episode, the proper context about things, needs to be understood and taken into account more than it has been. I know a lot of people, are tired of the system, tired of the way that, things have been going. And especially for our people as melanin rich people, you know what I'm saying? Especially us. We tired of it. You know what I'm saying? However, in order for us to bridge better relationships between each other, we got to start understanding how we using these words that we speak in. You know what I'm saying? Especially since a lot of us and most of us aren't using our original tongues and languages to communicate. You see what I'm saying? We got to use this tongue called English. You know what I'm saying? Even though we are the creators and inventors and construction of all intelligence and languages, period. So let's just keep that in mind, you know what I mean, as we go through this episode. Just My 2 Cent podcast was brought to you and sponsored by the official IBelongApparel.com. Come check out the official IBelongApparel.com for short sets, tank sets, windbreakers, Luxe tracksuits, Luxe sweatsuits, and accessories. The official IBelongApparel.com. When you stay true to yourself and your purpose, you always belong. The official IBelongApparel.com. The next word we want to look at now is the word society. And this is still in the Oxford English Dictionary on page 913. Scroll down here. And it says society. A association with one's fellow men, especially as a friendly or intimate manner, companionship or fellowship, also rarely of animals. Then they just give some history of the word, you know what I'm saying? Describes the type of word it is with possession, pronoun or genitive, etc. You know what I mean? But we go up here to the top again. Let me see. It says, hold on, I didn't get the bottom. Okay, association or intercourse with or between persons. Also figurative, and then, give some more history. See, the history with this word starts, I think that's 1834. No, 15. 1581. Sorry, 1581. So we go right here up to the top with an instance of association or companionship with others. It says rare, but let me see. Persons with whom one has or may have companionship or intercourse. Also transformative of plants, okay? In early use, also with possessive pronouns or article. And then I want to go right here to this second definition of it, where it says the state or condition of living in association, company, or intercourse with others of the same species, the system or mode of life adopted by a body of individuals for the purpose of harmonious coexistence or for mutual benefit, defense, etc., in reference to man. Man, meaning man, woman, and child, you know what I'm saying? And then, further, definitions, in history of the word society. And this is an interesting one too. Number 3, the aggregate of persons living together in a more or less ordered community. And the reason why I'm talking about the society, because, as we going to see more and more as we go through this episode, not everybody in a society uses things in context, uses their words and and concepts in context so that everybody understands within a particular society. And, society isn't just people out here around about, thinking that we all the same, because we're not all the same. You know what I mean? If we were all the same, we would be and wouldn't have to define ourselves and identify ourselves with different things, just as simple as a name. You know what I'm saying? However, anyway, back to the point. This air that we breathe and share amongst people who are bipedal and humanoid, you know what I'm saying? Meaning the structure of a form with an arm, leg, arm, head. You know what I'm saying? 2 arms, 2 legs, and 1 head. Let me say it like that. Everybody not in the same society. You can read these words, and this is the English definition. We're gonna look at the legal definition according to Black's Law Dictionary, the 4th edition. And I'm gonna say this too about dictionaries. If you can find the oldest dictionary, those are gonna be your better dictionaries in terms of defining what a word is, what its denotative meaning is, meaning what it actually means, rather than just connotative, and that means connotative language means, or definitions mean, like what people agreed to just start using the word, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when, like, let's just say lit, you know what I'm saying? Most of us understand the word lit to just be like, cool, or, you know what I'm saying? Like excited, or, you know what I'm saying? Even high or intoxicated. But the word lit means like something that denotatively, the word lit means like, to actually light something up. You know what I'm saying? With fire, or turn on a light. You feel me? But anyway, just keep that in mind as well. You know what I'm saying? Society, and what society actually is and what it really means. You know what I mean? Because especially this 3rd definition here, the aggregate of persons living together in a more or less ordered community. So it's always been ordered, you know what I mean, on planet Earth, you feel me? Even before the structures that we have to live amongst here in amongst the United States society. Just My 2 Cent podcast was also brought to you and sponsored by AmplifyReach.com, formerly known as JE Creative Web Hosting and Design. Check out Amplify Reach when you're ready to step up your business's online presence. AmplifyReach.com for affordable web design, web hosting, and marketing solutions. Amplify Reach. Amplify with the Y. Why? Because they're the best. AmplifiedReach.com. We have the Black Sloth 4th edition, and we defining the word society. Says an association or company of persons generally unincorporated. And they got that in parentheses. That means it's important. You see what I'm saying? But an association or company, that's an interesting word to use. A company of persons. You know what I'm saying? Because when some of these Europeans started coming over here, you know what I mean? They was a part of the Dutch East India Company, the British Trading Company, you know, this and that company. You see what I'm saying? So they were a society. See what I'm saying? An association or company of persons generally unincorporated. So generally they saying, you know, usually, not usually, but generally speaking, it's unincorporated, meaning they weren't making money or doing stuff for, or join together for the purpose of, you know, making money, you know. But a society is an association or company of persons, because a person isn't just flesh and blood. And you can find that if you look it up in the legal dictionary. But let me go ahead. Society, an association or company of persons generally unincorporated, united together by mutual consent. By mutual consent. Some people in these times, we don't even want to be bothered with, but we got to be around them. So is that mutual consent if you don't want to be bothered with somebody, but you got to be around them? Think about that. But anyway, I promise I'll read it all the way through this time. Society, an association or company of persons generally unincorporated, united together by mutual consent in order to deliberate, determine, and act jointly for some common purpose. In a wider sense, the community or public, the people in general. And it states a case, Gilmer versus Stone. What is that? 7 SCT. Is that seventh court 689, 120 US 586 30 LED 734. But that's the cases you can look up if you want to know more about a society and what it actually and how it actually works within law as well. But the point of me even bringing up context at the beginning is to show you that these words, when they use in certain ways, especially in like, let's just take right here in social media. You see what I'm saying? Saying certain things without proper context of realizing you speaking in a generally public forum, if you will. There's certain rules that apply or laws that apply, you know what I mean, that can sometimes put people in jeopardy of having the freedom, as they say, to speak taken away or limited. You see what I'm saying? Because these platforms have to sign contracts as well to make sure people who use them follow a certain code that they, you know, want them to follow in order to use their platforms. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a difference just having like a page, and I'm speaking from an IT perspective right here. Like, it's a difference from having a page on somebody's platform, like, you know, YouTube, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, to having your own website where you don't have where you set the rules because you own that domain, that part of society. You see what I'm saying? Is really important, I think, for us to start understanding and demonstrating that we understand. You know, you can't get mad at these people for trying to, you know, do whatever it is that they do on these platforms, because, you know, as far as they concerned, they providing you with a service. You see what I'm saying? Whether you actually pay out your pocket to use it or not, you know what I mean? This is their society. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the definition and read it again. We're going to read it again. Let's read it again. Here we go. Society, an association or company of persons generally, that doesn't mean always, generally unincorporated. You know what I'm saying? Last I checked, you can look and find a lot of these platforms on the stock market. You got to be incorporate a corporation to do that. See what I'm saying? Anyway, united together by mutual consent in order to deliberate, determine, and act jointly for some common purpose. You know, in a wider sense, the community or public, the people in general. And again, the citation of the case, you know, in a statute where you can look it up further. And then down here, right here where it says civil society, it says usually, civil society is usually a state, nation, or body politic. Rutherford Institute C1, 2. See what I'm saying? So they have defined a society generally, and then a civil society. You know what I'm saying? Americanos Estados is supposed to be a republic, you know, nation, state. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no democracy. You know what I mean? It's what it is. That's how our ancestors defined it and set it up. You know what I'm saying? And we operate with certain laws and orders. You know what I'm saying? For the benefit of all. Now, I remember, you know, speaking to my grandmother when I was little, and she told me, you know, that she couldn't remember the name of all of us on this land before the Europeans came. You know what I'm saying? But on her side, and this is my mother's mother, you know what I'm saying? She was Blackfoot, see what I'm saying? And her husband, my granddaddy, was Choctaw or Choctaw. You see what I'm saying? And from further studies after listening to my grandmother as I grew up, you know what I'm saying? I started seeing we were so free on the land before them that there was no need for us to define ourselves or call ourselves, hey, I'm a Moor. Hey, I'm Aboriginal. Hey, I'm indigenous. We didn't have to do that because we was free for so long. We didn't have to go around identifying each other like that. We knew who each other was and recognized who each other was because maybe the type of feathers we would wear, how many feathers we would wear, how many beads we wore, the color of those beads. You see what I'm saying? How our fringes hung or where they were placed on our garments, etc. You see what I'm saying? When we had to start dealing with outsiders, you see what I'm saying? That was outside of the majority of ours mutual consent. You see what I'm saying? That's when it got into, we had to start, you know, trying to put this thing back together. Because just imagine being free for so long, you know, knowing your way of life, you wouldn't have to go around saying, hey, I'm a Moor. Hey, I'm a Moorish American. Hey, I'm a original American. Or I'm Tom Murray. You know, you didn't have to. So society, just let that sink in. Just My 2 Cent podcast was also brought to you and sponsored by TasteJPSalsa.com. JP Salsa. You can come to their website, TasteJPSalsa.com, and check out the black beans and corn, blueberries, peaches, honey with habanero, honey apple, and roasted garlic. Either one you can't lose, because I'm not sharing mine. TasteJPSalsa.com. If it's not JP's, you can keep it. Let's look at the word semantics. This is from the Webster's New World Dictionary, second college edition, from like 1970 or something like that. Says semantics, the branch of linguistics concerned with the nature, structure, and especially the development and the development and changes of the meanings of speech forms or with contextual meaning. Same as semiotic, the branch of semiotic dealing with relationships of signs and symbols to the things to which they refer, or with reference or referential meaning. Basically what you're talking about, like what exactly are you, the thing that you're exactly talking about. You see what I'm saying? That's what referential meaning means. The relationships between signs and symbols and the concepts, feelings, etc. associated with them in the minds of their interpreters. Notional meaning, loosely, deliberate distortion or twisting of meaning, as in some types of advertising, propaganda, etc. See general semantics. So, I wanted to bring up this definition for the word semantics because a lot of people think that, people are just trying to be funny when they try to be specific with certain words. You know what I mean? That's just semantics. You worried about what I'm saying instead of what I'm actually saying, or the meaning about what I'm saying. Where it's like, nah, semantics is an actual science. You know what I'm saying? Because, in a lot of cases, these people have taken certain words and changed them around to make it like the words actually mean something else. Or even the concept, for example, like when they try to say we all, evolved from apes and gorillas and shit like that. Like, and they use this word we. Like, no, we did not. That is not my society who has taught me that. You see what I'm saying? I was exposed to that line of thinking, but that is not what the reality is of what I understand and what my studies have shown me about my particular bloodline. You see what I'm saying? Like, but that's a semantic designation. You know what I'm saying? How those words, we evolved from monkeys. You see what I'm saying? That's semantics in terms of, when they use the word we. You see what I'm saying? Because they put that idea to the, out to everyone through the school, whatever, you know what I'm saying? All these different areas to market that particular line of thinking. Because remember, we're talking about a society, and a society is generally unincorporated, but, it's a company of persons that even the education system consists of. And we can ready to get into that. You know what I'm saying? How they use these words and these terms to paint ideas into our heads so that they can control society. Because even if we just take the example of we evolved from monkeys, well, that's not me. I know that's not me. You see what I'm saying? However, I know about the master scientists who came down, a few of them, and decided, first, let's back up. They were on their own ship or planet, and this particular family of individuals, took it. They father took it upon himself to, go for the throne and started a coup. They called this planet Nibiru. So he decided to take over, and him and his family ended up ruling, and then some of his people came down. However, they weren't the only ones who came down here. You see what I'm saying? However, let's keep going. But they did decide to, come down here, and those beings that were already here, because they're, when you study all of these tablets and all that type of information dealing with the ones that they want to say are Anunnaki, you know what I'm saying? They always talk about it was already a group of people here. It was already people here, but they were primitive. You see what I'm saying? Now, just dealing with that, that's a judgment in and of itself coming from individuals who claim that when they came down here, it was like primitive people. You see what I'm saying? And they started experimenting and messing with the genetics and brought about a beings of their own. You see what I'm saying? On top of the fact that they already had a servant race that they had contact with, if not, they created them or made them as well. But anyway, it's on when you deal with the story of, even the master scientists making or, bringing about so-called human beings, that story in itself has some validity when you match it with, or I should say those semantics have validity when you match it with we evolved from monkeys. We meaning just that statement, not me or any of the bloodlines that I'm talking about that was already here. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying the semantics of knowing that information, that there is a group of beings who were basically lab rats. You know what I'm saying? Who came about due to genetic tests and experiments that were ran on you know what I'm saying, melanin rich beings. You see what I'm saying? That they decided to do upon themselves. Because remember, even the one that they want to call Inky, he took, you know what I'm saying, genetics from his sister, etc. And they was adding you know what I'm saying, and taking away from animals and this and that, and, you know, blending together all these different genetic trees to form certain beings. You understand? Now, if you understand that, then a statement that is pushed upon a lot of us, a lot of our children, especially now still in these schools with we evolved from monkeys, you can see the semantics, you see what I'm saying, in operation. You see what I'm saying? Because not all of us were the results of test tubes and, and genetic studies like that, experiments like that. But, you know, we'll get into that later. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, semantics. You see what I'm saying? That's a real science. That's a real thing, a real practice. And that's how a lot of times these lawyers, you know, do what they do. They use semantics. That's real. These politicians use semantics. You see what I'm saying? Your boss probably at your job or whatever, you know what I mean, probably uses semantics. I'm sure his boss does, especially if they upper executives and deal with HR. HR thrives on semantics. You know what I mean? We got to even play semantics when we take interviews for certain jobs, when you really think about it. You see what I'm saying? Semantics of or pertaining to meaning, especially meaning in language. You see what I'm saying? Now, since we're on the topic of context and semantics, and the context and semantics of denotative language or words, I want to, you know, just go ahead and define this word money in the context of Black's Law, 4th edition. So money, in usual and ordinary acceptation, it means gold, silver, or paper money used as circulating medium of exchange, and does not embrace notes, bonds, evidences of debt, or other personal or real estate. In the cases Lang versus Rayleigh, 280 Kentucky 319, 133 Southwest 2nd, 74, 79, 81. Currency, the circulating medium, cash. So these colons right here are separating complete thoughts. They almost like periods, but you know what I'm saying, they using real structured and technical English in writing here. So that's why they use the semicolon. But yeah, money, you know what I'm saying, it's saying it does not embrace notes, bonds, evidences of debt. You see what I'm saying? If you pulled out some paper out your pocket right now, you're going to see one of those words on it. One of those words meaning notes, bonds, evidence of debt. You're going to actually see notes. And if you look it up further, you will find out that, you know, Federal Reserve notes are evidences of debt. You know what I'm saying? Because they defined it for you right here. They define what money actually is. In usual and ordinary acceptation, it means gold, silver. You see what I'm saying? It does say or paper money. Or paper money used as circulating medium of exchange. You know what I'm saying? But then that's when you go to the Constitution, you see what money is. You see what I'm saying as well? But here we go. In its strict technical sense, money means coined metal, usually gold or silver. You see how I'm emphasizing those words like that? I'm doing that to show you how semantics are practiced. In its strict technical sense, money means coined metal, usually gold or silver, excuse me, upon which the government stamp has been impressed to indicate its value. In its more popular sense, money means any currency. Now see, this right here, in its more popular sense, that's another way of saying in today's context. You see what I'm saying? In its more popular sense, money means in any currency, tokens, banknotes, or other circulating medium in general use as the representative of value. Kennedy versus Breer, 45 Text 305. Cook versus State, 130 Arkansas 90. 196 SW 922 924. Vic versus Howard, 136 Virginia 101 116 Southeast 465 467 31 ALR 240. Now, again, I just want to make sure that I put this out here just to show you, you know what I'm saying, what money actually is, and as far as how we defining it, as well as how we think about that word when we hear it, how we should be thinking about it. Because when we were in control of everything, we was using gold and silver, as well as, trading, things that we had value, we saw as valuable. If you want to go back to a certain particular time, yeah, it might have been feathers, certain types of feathers, you understand, beads, you know what I'm saying? But mostly it was gold and silver. You see what I'm saying? Like, I remember being a little boy, and my great grandmother on my daddy's side, because they side was Cherokee, and my great granddaddy, my daddy's granddad, you know what I'm saying? He used to break horses or train horses, like, and but anyway, they tried, even blended in a little bit with what ended up being called the Ben Ishmael tribe. You see what I'm saying? But that's another story. The point is, when my great granny, when I got to see her, she would give me, like, sometimes people would call them 50-cent pieces. You see what I'm saying? But they was silver. You see what I'm saying? They had buffaloes. Some of them had buffaloes on them. You know what I mean? They worth a lot of money now. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's how we got down. That's the bottom line. Money was something, that actually had intrinsic, meaning in and of itself. It had value in and of itself. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we got down as a people, as a nation with many clans and tribes. You see what I'm saying?